If you've got a test or exam right around the corner and you have a lot to learn in a short amount of time, whatever you do, do not study with your friends. It's tempting to think of group study as a saving grace, but actually, it's super inefficient. You end up spending more time talking and procrastinating than getting any actual studying done. And when you finally do start studying, you typically tailor the pace of learning to the weakest person in the group rather than what you need to focus on to do well. But I do get it. Sometimes you need a little social motivation, you want an excuse to get together with some friends or classmates, and you want to commiserate together about this annoying test that you all have ahead of you. I've been there too. So, if you do have some extra time before your exam and you are planning to cram it out with some buddies, let's talk about how to get the most of your study time together. I'm Andrew with Brainscape, an adaptive study app built on decades of proven cognitive science research into how we learn better. And when it comes to study groups, we've pretty much seen it go wrong in every way possible. So we've consolidated all of our experience into these 5 key tips that will help you keep your group on track and make those facts you're studying actually stick in your brain. The first tip is to be careful about who you're studying with in the first place. Really, try to keep your group limited to people who are around the same skill level. It might be tempting to let that cool slacker talk you into a cram night at their place, but just be prepared for it to devolve into you tutoring them on the points you already know rather than pushing yourself on your own weaknesses. Now, if you happen to be that cool slacker yourself, first of all, congratulations. But maybe you had better just bribe a nerd like me to share the flashcards I made in Brainscape, where you can easily study on your own without wasting my time tutoring you in person. By rating your confidence in how well you know each flashcard, Brainscape can just work its magic and determine how frequently to repeat the item, thereby taking all the hard work out of your study process. You just push buttons and go. You're still technically studying socially since someone shared their Brainscape flashcards with you, but you don't actually have to get together in person and waste time pretending to study together when you're really not. But if you do still get together in person, at least don't go nuts on the invite list. This isn't your second bar mitzvah. It's an immortal law of study groups. Gatherings greater than 5 people will inevitably turn into, well, let's just say you're probably not going to be getting any work done. And you'll probably be bringing down the average grade in the class and helping all the people who aren't at your study party be ahead of you. So let's keep it focused, guys. And the best way to keep everyone focused is to actually give homework to your partners before the study sessions. Don't expect that all your unprepared friends are just gonna show up to the group study session and magically bestow knowledge pixie dust upon each other starting from scratch. Instead, everyone needs to come with their minds already somewhat full. Come up with good questions in advance of the study session to challenge each other with. Pretend that you're the instructor writing the exam questions yourself, guessing what the instructor might be asking for before you go to the study group session. Or even better, maybe your group can set up your own shared space in Brainscape where you can divide up the responsibilities of making flashcard decks among the members of your group. Maybe 1 deck per chapter in your textbook for each person or something like that, so that the flashcards are ready for your study group well in advance of you actually getting together. And best of all, with this method, you can encourage your group members to start studying those Brainscape flashcards even in advance of your study night too, so that you're not only using the group study session to start studying from scratch, but rather to get together to focus on the flashcards that represent each person's biggest weaknesses. So you're really making the most of your time together and discussing only the tricky points. At this point, you may be hating me for suggesting all these boring homework assignments and raining on the parade of that super fun study night that you were planning. But just because you're prepping in advance and keeping the slacker party animals out of your study group doesn't mean you still can't make it fun. Maybe you have each person give a presentation about the content from memory, about some particular concept, and make it funny. Or find a way to quiz each other using those flashcards that you created together in Brainscape before the study session. My old college roommate and I used to actually play pool with old school paper flashcards. While one person was shooting, the other person would call out a flashcard for the shooter to answer while they played. Was that as efficient as studying alone or in Brainscape? Heck no. But we probably studied more than our lazy, unmotivated butts would have otherwise, and we got to play pool. Which brings me to my final tip, which is that your rewards shouldn't just be for each little question that your group members get right, but also for some big, tangible goal at the end. Say, by the time we're done tonight, everybody should be able to at least answer 5 questions right in a row. Or we're going to keep going around this circle answering questions, and we're not going to stop until we've collectively gotten 9 of the last 10 items right. You've made this a social activity, so you might as well be in this as a team and not as a competition. It's y'all against the rest of the class who aren't there at your study group tonight. Of course, I should still remind you one more time that I still really recommend taking most of your studying into your own hands and not relying on a study group. And that's why we have so many other great videos here on how to develop strong individual study habits, focus habits, productivity practices, and motivation techniques. So be sure to subscribe to this channel, check out the Brainscape Academy for tons more advice on improving your learning and yourself so that you and your study buddies can prepare to rise to all your challenges.